Hello everyone. Welcome to the fifth part of chemical reactions and equations. We shall learn effects of oxidation in everyday life. One of the example is corrosion. It slowly coats the surface of metal or metallic object with oxides or other salts of metal when attacked by moisture, acid, etc. It is a spontaneous, continuous, irreversible reaction. It can also be called electrochemical process. Now listen student, in case of iron, initially this process is adsorption, but slowly on prolonged exposure and due to the porous nature of rust, it transforms into absorption. That means it first destroys the surface and later destroys the entire metal. One of the example of corrosion is rusting of iron. We'll take up in detail later on. Let us take up the next part. That is the corrosion of copper. You must have observed there are some blackish green patch on copper articles, vessels. What is the reason behind it? When copper exposed to environment, atmosphere for a long time, it develops a blackish patch called copper oxide. This process is also enhanced when we heat copper in presence of air. Now, copper also loses its shine and the surface gets tarnished when exposed to moist air. Air which contain dissolved carbon dioxide and oxygen and leads to the formation of a green patch called basic copper carbonate. So these are the two ways by which copper is corroded. Next one is the corrosion of silver. Silver articles are shiny grey, but on prolonged exposure to the air which is containing sulfur or hydrogen sulfide, the shiny appearance of the silver get tarnished and develops a black coating called silver sulfide. Now, effects of corrosion. It causes severe damage to life and property. Every year, we lose crores of life, property, money on account of corrosion. Now, let us take up rusting of iron in detail. Now, a special word is used for the corrosion of iron and it is called rusting. It is a complex mechanism, but let us see the stepwise process. There are reactions which are elementary and some reactions are complex. That means which takes place in many steps. Let us see. In presence of moisture, iron loses its electron. That means iron get oxidized. For convenience, I have taken two atoms. So 4 electron is lost by 2 of the iron atom. This is oxidation half taking place at anode. Anode means what? The site where this process takes place, that site will act as anode. The electron is transported and being absorbed by the oxygen. So oxygen is getting reduced. Oxygen from where this is coming from? It is coming from the water droplet settled on the iron article containing dissolved oxygen. So oxygen get dissolved in water. So oxygen from where this H plus is coming from? Air also contains carbon dioxide, and carbon dioxide when combines with water forms carbonic acid, and this carbonic acid dissociates to give H plus and CO3 2 minus. So this H plus along with oxygen takes up the electron that is getting reduced to form water molecule. Now, the overall the reaction, that is from first step 1 and step 2, the overall reaction will be 2Fe, 1O2, that is the one molecule of O2, 4H plus, 4 electron get cancelled, 2Fe2 plus, that is Rn converting into ferrous, and 2 molecules of water. This is the complete redox, oxidation plus reduction means redox. Okay. Now here the Rn transforms into ferrous, but on further oxidation, due to the presence of dissolved oxygen in water, this ferrous converts into ferric with the further production of H plus. Now the hydration of the ferric oxide takes place. That means the ferric oxide takes up X molecules of water, that is not definite, to form Fe2O3 dot XH2O. This is the reddish brown flaky, that is non-sticky layer called rust. Are you able to understand the mechanism? First, Rn is oxidized in presence of moisture. Thereafter, the dissolved oxygen present in water and the H plus ion, because the presence of CO2 in water, both helps oxygen to take up the electron and getting reduced. The overall reaction is iron is oxidized, whereas oxygen is reduced in presence of H plus to form 2Fe2 plus, that is 2 atoms of ferrous and 2 water molecule. This ferrous further get oxidized due to the presence of dissolved oxygen in water to form ferric oxide with the further production of H plus. Ferric or hydroxide is hydrated, that means takes up some water molecule, and the water molecule is not definite, so I have written X water molecule to form reddish brown flaky. Flaky means what? It is not sticky, it is not getting pasted on the metal surface, rather it gets deteriorated in the form of dust. Okay, so reddish brown flaky substance called rust. The complete reaction, that is the complex reaction, can be written in a simple equation, that is 2Fe plus 3 by 2 O2 to give X molecule with the X molecules of water to give Fe2O3 dot XH2O called rust. Conditions necessary for rusting. It is a presence of air and presence of water. We can say it's a presence of moisture or any acids or acidic gases. Okay. Now listen carefully. Let us take up one activity to prove that moisture is necessary. We are taking 4 test tubes. One is half filled with water. Other one is filled up to the brim. Third one is containing calcium chloride. And the fourth one is containing water with a wax coating. Okay. So in the first case, as the test tube is half filled with water, so there is dissolved oxygen also, and the oxygen also present at the top level of the water. So the second case, up to the brim, so there is no possibility of extra oxygen, only dissolved oxygen may cause some rust. Okay, and in the third case, it is a calcium chloride, which is an anhydrous substance and also known as the drying agent. Okay, and in the fourth case, it is the presence of water, but the top is sealed with the help of wax or oil. So in which case the rust will take first one. Why? Because oxygen and water, that is a moisture, both are present. So in second case, what is the condition? Up to the brim. So there must be less amount of oxygen, or the rusting will be caused only by the dissolved amount, which is very little. So it will take some more time to get rust, to take rust, that is. The third case, it is calcium or chloride, anhydrous calcium chloride. So it will take up entire moisture, keep the surface of the iron clean. So the rusting will be very minimum. Remember it, student, corrosion cannot be stopped. It can only be prevented or slowed down. Are you able to understand? Now the fourth case, it is the top covered with wax, so no possibility of extra oxygen getting dissolved in it. So the oxygen which is present in the water will cause the rusting. So these are the conditions necessary for rusting. Next is the how to prevent rusting. So when we talk about prevention, as I told you, corrosion cannot be stopped. It can only be prevented and thus can be slowed down. The process can be slowed down. How can we prevent rusting? Especially we are talking about the iron, because whenever or wherever we are using the term rusting, we means corrosion of iron. So it is done by surface coating, galvanization, electroplating, tinning, cathodic protection, alloying. Okay, let us see one by one. What is surface coating? It acts as a barrier. That means a barrier protection which cuts the supply of moisture with iron. So it can be done by applying oil, paint, chemicals like bisphenol, grease, varnish, etc. Galvanization means a protective layer. That means development of a protective layer. Also, it is done by more electropositive metal like zinc, which act as a sacrificial protection. Means zinc is more reactive. You have studied in the reactivity series where potassium was at the top and platinum was at the bottom. In between you have seen various common metals. So among them zinc is above, that is above iron. So it is more electropositive. What will happen? Zinc will take the oxide layer and hence prevents the iron from taking the rust or taking the oxide layer. So this is called sacrificial protection. Zinc is sacrificing on account of iron. Next one is the electroplating. That means a coating is developed with the help of electricity. That means nickel or chromium is used to electroplate the iron articles. Next one is a tinning. Tinning, that means tin. You know that tin is least reactive towards moisture. So tin can be coated over the iron to protect its rusting. Next is the cathodic protection. Means what? Iron is taken in this process as an cathode, and more electropositive metals like zinc, magnesium or aluminium is taken as anode. So this anode will act as sacrificial anode. Why? Because it will take up the rust, that is oxide layer. It develops an oxide layer and thus prevent the iron from getting rusted. Next is the alloying. Alloying is one more way to prevent the rusting. That is, you must have observed the composition of steel. It contains iron plus carbon. So it is a more amount of carbon. So iron will take less susceptible to the less oxygen. Then next one is a stainless steel. Again here the mixing of iron with nickel and chromium changes its behavior. That means it will get protected from the rusting process. Okay, next we will take up the how this corrosion can be advantageous for many of the metals. As we discussed that crores of life and property is lost on account of corrosion, but corrosion is not always troublesome. In some metals like aluminium, zinc and tin or many more, there the corrosion proves to be advantageous. How? Let us see. Aluminium when exposed to moisture develops a thin layer which is impervious, stable. Impervious means non-penetrable and thus After development of this aluminium oxide layer over aluminium, this layer prevents the underneath aluminium from further corrosion. So what is the advantage of corrosion? In some of the metals, metal develop an oxide layer, and that oxide layer is impervious and stable and does not let further moisture to get penetrated deep into the metal. As a result, the metal which is underneath this layer is protected. In case of aluminium, if this process, that is the development of an oxide layer, is done artificially with the help of electricity, then we call that process as anodizing. Anodizing.